All right, hey y'all. So today we're gonna do something we don't normally do too much. I built two of the Bricklink Designer Sets from the last series, which was that series 4 or series 3. I got them mixed up. Anyways, and I want to show them off because they were really freaking cool. They might be some of my favorite sets that I've possibly ever built. So let's go take a quick look at them, and then I'll talk about kind of what they're gonna do in the new medieval area. And talk about where we're going next with them. Okay, so ignore, I'm just saying this out because it's the only place that I've open space to look at right now. But first up is Seaside Markets. This is a fantastic set. It's modular-esque, not in the like city sense of modular, but in the sense that the sections come apart and you can kind of reorder them a little bit, which is super cool. Very excited about that. This was just a really fun build, and it was a pretty quick build actually. But I really enjoyed this. There's lots of fun details, like check out the guy carrying fish, little market with the cheese and the rat. You can see looking at some like blacksmith helmets type things, a snake charmer, and some goods from other parts of the area. I love this because this is very similar to the Mountain Fortress kind of shield aspect. And I really like that that was kind of reused. And then some like market goods. So there's some foodstuffs, and then some like fishing stuffs. But let's take a look at the other side, because I think this side is the side that gets showed off the most, but I think the other side is actually even cooler looking. So let's take a look at the other side here. Okay, so here's the other side, which I think is just gorgeous. I really like the dark red accents across the top of this. I think that's really sharp. Again, you got the little crest, or however you want to think about that. These really cool brick built doors. I love because this is like an oversized door that they did a really nice job of making some really nice brick built doors, and just really nice kind of like detailing on the outside. There's this super fun wine cart or mead maybe that comes with it as well. And let me show you a couple of the interior details, because there's a little wine storage in there as well. So it kind of plays into that. The other thing that's cool is that this all pops off, so you have access to add figs in here or lighting or whatever. More access into the little quarters there. And the cool thing too is that this actually works as well. I was having fun putting stuff in there and throwing it, because why not? The crane also lifts over here. It's a super fun ship. I kind of breezed over this. This is a really smartly designed ship as well. Lots of snot things. I love the little sail that's curled up there. Just really well thought out. And let me pop this open and we'll take a look at the little wine cellar. Okay, so here you can see the back side of those brick built doors. Really cool. I wish they would have done a little something in here. This is kind of bland for, especially because you can see inside of it, the doors are open. So that's a little annoying, but definitely something that I can fix up a little bit. And then over here is this really cool little wine area. They got the stompings for the grapes, and then some barrels with the taps in them, and just really kind of cool detail for in there. You can see it goes on out to where we were just looking at too. So that's the Seaside Markets. While this is here, this is actually kind of the area it's going to live, is right in this kind of corner. And there are some additional modules that you can build with this. And so that's going to be my project in the near future. I'm kind of still collecting some parts. I got a lot of the parts, but these tile pieces I don't have. So I definitely need to get some of those for the roofs. But I'm definitely going to add on a couple pieces to this to make this just a little bit bigger. I might also duplicate this section to do a little bit more market area. But I'm going to kind of wait to see if I need it to be bigger or not, because I don't want to get it too big but I also don't want it to be too small either, because I think that'd be a nice little area right here, to kind of tie in with the rest of the ocean area that's kind of on this front side of the display. Oh yeah, another brick built door. I forgot to talk about this one. This one's cool. It's got the cool little design in it, but love the brick built doors because they do really well on this. There's lots of little details too, like the exposed logs sticking out with the printed tile piece on the end. The printed tiles down here. Lots of really good details. There's a fun little crab and stuff hidden underneath here. There's the seagull with the shell and the starfish over there. Just really cool. Okay, let's take a look at the other one from the same series, which is the Siege Encampment. All right, so this is the Siege Encampment, and it's kind of mixed in with some of the other kind of castle stuff that's floating around, so we'll kind of have to ignore that. But I was a little bit on the fence when I bought this because I was having a hard time envisioning what I was going to use this for, and truthfully, I'm still having a little bit of a hard time envisioning how I'm going to use some of these pieces. But with that said, there are some really cool details, some very cool techniques used in making all these little, they're almost like little vignettes. So let's take a look at some of these. This is the siege tower type thing. This does obviously raise and lower. And if you know, you also get some pieces. That's what this bag back here is. If you want to swap some of these over to being Lion Knight instead of Black Falcon Knights. So there's parts to swap this out. You swap the flag out. So you can change this over to a Black Falcon Knight. Cool little wall ladder, if you will. Wheels. Backside with all different types of figs. Great ways to pull it around, you know. They've really thought about a lot of this because obviously they have ways for you to get to each section. Just really well thought out. Obviously, this raises and lowers. So very cool. Another little cart. There's lots of carts with castles that I'm learning. This is a fun little one. It's got a bunch of barrels. The fun cow pulling the cart. I thought it was interesting. This is like, I think this is a Friends hairpiece because it's like rubberized and it's got the little hole on top. So I just thought that was an interesting thing. I don't think I've seen another Bricklink Designer Set that had a Friends hairpiece. So I thought that was super fun. And then we got the little kitchen area. Lots of fun little details. The cat, the fish, the turkey, the way they suspended the fire, or this pot over the fire, even the fire stuff. Pizza. I don't think they had pizza back in medieval times, but here we are. Got another goat, which is great. I love these big barrels. We saw this on the Seaside Market one as well. But I love these big barrels like this. It's actually two pieces put together to make a barrel. Just fun. You get a bunch of fun root vegetables. There's bread. There's some pretzels. I don't know if they had pretzels back then, but you got all your utensils hanging on the side. You got cheese and a waffle on top. Just kind of really fun details. Oh, you got a rabbit over here. Lots of fun details in that. Little side note about this pot. This is actually called the Fabuland pot if you look it up on Pab on Lego. And if you look on the bottom, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that part where it's like scratched out is the old mold line from where it said Fabuland, because all the Fabuland parts actually said Fabuland on them. And so I think that that's from the old mold that was scratched out. But yeah, fun. You get a dog as well. So that's always just a fun little addition. All right, next up, you got this fun little tent, which obviously this is a pretty hard piece to get. In fact, I don't know if I have any more of these. This is actually, I think, the first time I've seen this piece. So it's hard to make more of these. Not hard, I shouldn't say, but you're going to have to acquire these, which is definitely unique because I think a lot of the rest of these parts are pretty basic parts. Even on Seaside Markets, a lot of it is just basic parts. So if you want to create more sections or more pieces or whatever, I don't think it's too difficult to do. Just a fun little tent. I'm not going to say too much about that. I'm guessing this is like an apothecary type thing. Some little like mushrooms, some medicines, I guess. Different vegetables. This is a really fun printed tile. I'm assuming it's from Ninjago. But I think that's a fun use of that. You got some plants there as well. I love this, the way they did this roof piece. But yeah, and I will say too, these are actually really like stable. Like I don't like, they're not flimsy at all, which is super nice because there's pretty thick plating under there. So that's super nice as well. We're gonna come back to this guy because this guy's super cool. But let's talk about the tents here. So this tent, you actually do not get the pieces to change the faction on. And so you're stuck with this kind of blue and gold look, which I guess maybe could kind of work for Lion Knights. But you know, just FYI, something to know. There's a little bit of details in there. It's hard to kind of see in there. This is a fun stickered piece. The kind of diagram of the is that like the siege tower maybe. So that's fun. Love these snake pieces. I think these are from the Viking village maybe. I think that's what they're originally from. And I love this color flower. This is that like pale yellow. But there's that tile piece again. Another great little tent. I love all the little like rope details. I think that really, that really adds a lot to just like the overall detail of it. And then this tent I thought was incredible. And this one does come with the pieces to swap out some of these side pieces if you want it to be a Lion Knight, Lion Knight tent. But the cool thing about this is that so there's like a hexagon kind of plate in there. It's not even a plate, it's like a Technic piece that all of this attaches to, and this is not actually attached to any studs on the bottom. The only thing holding this tent section down to the base are actually the strings. And I was kind of blown away by that technique. It was just really cool use of things. And again, the strings add just a really nice kind of detailing to it. Oh yeah, sheep. You get sheep. But yeah, you do get the parts to swap this out to be Lion Knights. There's the tile, and then you swap it out to these big tall red pieces instead of like the checkered pattern. I thought this fig was an interesting fig to choose for this. I think she was in the Jazz Club, maybe. I think that was maybe her first appearance. Jazz Club or Orient Express, one of those two. I don't know how I feel about her use. I like her hair here, but I don't know about her torso and dress. I just think that's kind of an odd pick for this. But again, stellar build. Very impressed by the way that came together to make the hexagon pieces, and just very cool. This kind of little like barrier wall gets made a couple times. You see it there as well. Simple but effective and pretty easy to replicate. Again, aside from these top pieces, this is all stuff that I have in my plant making stuff. And so that's super cool too, that you kind of learn how to build some easily adaptable things. And then similarly, same thing. There's just figs on a little bit bigger base plate. Is that like a shield protector as they're like moving forward? This is a fun little build. And then we got the armory. And again, really stable thing. Nice big fire. You got the anvil here. You got some raw ore. You got the blacksmith. You got a dude checking out some weapons here. Lots of weapon variety here. I think these are really great. I don't know how I feel about the trident, but these two at least are really great. You got the shield, or you got the breast, you got the breastplate, you got the helmet, you got the shield, you got all the different types of swords. And then obviously the guy with a sword as well. Just a really cool little like vignette, for lack of a better term. That kind of helps fill out some of your castle displays. And then we got this cool cart. And let me grab my tripod because this thing actually shoots, which is super cool. So let's actually take a look at that. So let me grab something to hold my phone. Okay, so the first of the throwing devices, crank this down. You have to crank this down a specific way, but it's got the cool rubber flexi pieces in here, the 1x2s. And so you gotta be kind of careful because there is quite a bit of weight. And gosh, I'm never gonna be able to find this. You get this little crate with, whoop. I'm literally never gonna be able to find this. This is stupid. All for good TV, right? I guess maybe let's see how far this is gonna go. And here we go. Oh, yep. Lost and gone forever. But that hit pretty high on the wall. So that's pretty cool. Definitely fun. Again, you're gonna make a mess of everything doing it this way, but that's kind of what some of the fun is, isn't it? I have to keep figuring out which way it goes though, because it only locks one way. But anyways, so there's that. You get 3 balls. Now I'm down to 2 because that one's stuck under there forever. These are just some miscellaneous figs that you build at the end. I think this is fun because this is for like the recolor. Because like you build everything as if it's a Black Falcon Knight. And then you get to build this guy. And he's got the paint pan, or the paint roller, to make it Lion Knight's castle. And then this guy is for the trebuchet. It's another fun weapon. And then this thing. This was awesome. In every sense of the word. This does actually work as you might think. It's got the same kind of mechanism that I just showed you, but instead of it being like spring loaded with the plastic or with the rubber thing, right? This works like an actual trebuchet does, and has the counterweight and stuff. And so I guess let's do it this way. Oh, I didn't even mean to hit it. So obviously it doesn't go quite as far as the one with the rubber, right? But here, let's load it again since it prematurely went off there. Oh, did I wind it the wrong way? I might have wound it the wrong way. That is the one thing I don't particularly like about. Nope. You can only go one way with this because the little thing has to catch, and it's really pretty sensitive. As you can see, it didn't take much to accidentally throw that. Oh gosh, come on. Why is it not? There we go. This is definitely no recording here, or definitely no second take on this, right? Let's get this all the way down. I think if I was going, oh gosh. I think if I was going to do this on the regular, I would maybe fix a little bit better way to do that. And then obviously, let's fling this again. So that goes, I don't know, about 50 inches or so, because that's about what the table is. Really fun. Like I said, the mechanism is a little bit janky, and it's just this latching piece. I think if I was going to regularly do this, I might kind of fix up that latching piece so it's a little bit more reliable than it currently is. You kind of have to rely on this to actually pick up to clip in. And so it's not super reliable. But anyways, very fun. You know, I spent like 10 minutes playing around with this thing because I couldn't not. But, so anyways, so that's the 2 sets. Okay, so like I said, I still am not super sure exactly where all Siege Encampment's going to end up. Honestly, it's probably going to end up in different parts of the layout. Like I can see these 2 things, and maybe even this being with the like medieval town square, or you know, near Seaside markets maybe. I could see like the siege tower and the trebuchet and some of the other kind of the embattlement type things, maybe near one of the castles. Probably that one, because I think I'm going to leave it as a Black Falcon Knight stuff. But Seaside Markets is definitely going to go here. And like I said, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this. Oh yeah, I got a whole bunch of more castle parts on Pab. I got these from the Build-A-Fig Tower. This is my little stash of castle stuff. But definitely going to work on expanding this next. And so that's kind of pretty high on the to-do list, because I want to get this kind of figured out. So I can get parts ordered, because that's obviously kind of takes a little bit. And then I think the overall plan is to start over here in this corner and kind of work this way, because I kind of have a plan for this little area. I have a plan for this area. I don't have a super great plan for this area. I mean, I kind of do. Like, it's obviously kind of sitting the way it's going to sit. But I don't really know. Actually, it's honestly this area right here that I don't know what's going to be happening there. So actually, this might come over this way, and leave that open for some more stuff. I'm not sure yet. So that's why I think I'm going to start over here and kind of work my way across. But anyways, say hi, Harley. Say hi, bud. So anyways, that's all I got for today. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all the YouTube things. That really helps out the channel. We're getting pretty close to monetizing, which just means that I get to spend more money on Lego to provide more content for the channel. Also, if you didn't see on Instagram, I'm now streaming on Twitch. So make sure you check me out there. Same username except for missing the first underscore. So just Travis underscore bricks on Twitch. I'm gonna stream there pretty regularly, and hopefully maybe eventually stream or dual stream some of the stuff over here. So anyways, thanks for watching, and catch y'all later.